To understand a culture is to understand its people and their cuisine. I do this by elevating Ghanaian cuisine to the Charlotte food scene and beyond through sharing my culture through food. My name is Awo Amenumey. I am the owner and executive chef of Eh Vivi. I'm a corporate chef at Food Buy. I'm a mom, a chef, a sister, a friend, an advocate, and a culinary ambassador. "2022, I was on my way to work. I think I was traveling to some rural part of North Carolina for work. I was working with Morrison Healthcare at the time, and I was having conversations with my husband, Kevin, about how to reinvent Awo's catering, thinking of doing something different. And I had a thought through prayer, through conversations with Kevin, I had an epiphany that Ghanaian cuisine is what I grew up with, is what I had been doing all along. So why not showcase that and bring that to my guests in a way that only makes sense to me or only I can produce. And I think through those conversations, Eh Vivi came about. And 2 years and counting, and Eh Vivi is still going strong. And I love the journey that we have been on and how far Eh Vivi has come so far. Eh Vivi is for anyone looking to experience something new, experience a dining cuisine that both elevates and educates and leaves you feeling a sense of community after each dinner. It's a pop-up dining series that I host in Charlotte and beyond, where I introduce my guests to Ghanaian cuisine in a way that makes sense to my guests, in a way that elevates Ghanaian culture and bring emphasis to the indigenous ingredients and spices that I grew up with. At a typical Eh Vivi pop-up dinner, you are in for a treat. So this is where I would sometimes highlight ingredients, put emphasis on one ingredient and showcase multiple ways that you can use such ingredients, or making totally different dishes from ingredients that are not traditionally used in that way. It is also a way that I connect with my community through hosting pop-up dinners at farms, connecting with my local farmers and using ingredients that they grow in their farms and their gardens to highlight Ghanaian cuisine and showcase the versatility of Ghanaian food. Take East Meets West dinner, for instance, that I partnered with a very dear chef friend of mine, Chef Amalu, a few months ago. We focused on plantains and cassava, where she's from Tanzania, I'm from Ghana, west and east coast of Africa. And so we just highlighted the similarities that we have in both cultures in those two ingredients. And we curated a 7-course extravaganza of deliciousness and just placed emphasis on the ingredients and showcase how much we can get from just those two ingredients, the multiple things we can make with them, some traditional and some non-traditional. That is the core of what Eh Vivi is and how I present those at my pop-ups. What drives me, what keeps me going is the feedback I get from guests after each dinner, after each pop-up. Just the feedback and people coming up to me and telling me I've never had something like this before, or people like fellow Ghanaians who come to me and tell me I've never experienced Ghanaian. I know Ghanaian food, but having it presented to me this way just gives me a whole new meaning to what Ghanaian cuisine is. I just did a dinner a few weeks ago in Charleston with a transformation table, and there were a few Ghanaians in the group, and they came up to me and were like, wow, this is food we grew up eating, but it does not look like what the food is on the plate, but the flavors are there. And so it's very comforting to me. It pushes me to want to continue to do these pop-ups. That drives me, and getting those feedbacks is all that makes it worthwhile to me, and that keeps me going. That is like a high I get to be like, on to the next one. When am I going to plan the next dinner? Because getting those feedbacks really, really keeps me going. What makes me stand out in what I'm doing is my approach to Ghanaian food, or my approach to how I present my dishes and my dinners. I like to break it up in 3 parts. So there are some dishes at my dinners where I keep true to the traditional forms of what Ghanaian food is. Like, I would present maybe a fufu or akmele dish, and akmele is a type of swallow that is made with cassava dough and corn flour. I'll present it in its true form to what they are. And the second tier or second layer is dishes that I would maybe add a thing or two or present in a different way. Take my kelewele or kaklo dishes, for instance. I like to add a little bit of cassava, shaved or shredded cassava, to my kaklo base. And kaklo is a really, really ripe plantain, sweet and spicy plantain fritter that I would add in cassava, grated cassava, and pair with like a sauce just to change it up a little bit. And then the third tier, or the third section of the way I present my dishes, is doing a totally different dish with an ingredient that is traditional to Ghana. Like, I would make a plantain ice cream, or I would make a baobab ice cream, or baobab mousse, or make gari soakins in a dessert form. So that is what I know makes me stand out from anybody else in the space right now, in how I present my dishes and the approach and creativity that I take into curating these dinners and pop-ups. To learn more about any upcoming Eh Vivi dinners or pop-ups, you can go to ehvivi.com. That is ehvivi.com, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Eh Vivi. Subscribe to our newsletter so you can be the first to know about any dinners that we have coming up, which, speaking of, we have one coming up, the second installment of East Meets West, that is going to be October 12th, right here in Concord, October 12th. So mark your calendars for the second installment of East Meets West, and I hope to see you all at an Eh Vivi table soon.